Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Currently, Super Bowl's on, so I would like to make this quick. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be the longest video of our geometry unit. It's also the last one, so that's awesome. Alright, so we're going to talk about today the area of composite figures. You will need these two things. You will need the I-step reference sheet, because we're going to be working with those formulas down at the bottom, and you will need graphic organizer number 6, side number 1. And your objective for this video is, as a student, you should be able to calculate the area of a composite figure. What's a composite figure? Well, it's a shape that includes more than just like one little shape. It includes multiple, so you got to break it down. So here we go. First one. Here we got it. Okay, this is a L-looking shape, but we can make it out of two different shapes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a line right across here, and what that does is it gives me a rectangle at the top and a rectangle at the bottom. And because I've cut it now into two rectangles, I can find the area of each of those rectangles. When I'm done, I want to put those both together to get the area of the entire shape. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The area of a rectangle is area equals length times width, and that's the same thing at the bottom. Area equals length times width. Those are the formulas I'm going to use. Remember, I want to plug in the numbers. Now, if you look at the top one, we're going to focus on this rectangle first. We know that the length is 24, and the width is 18. So that one's pretty easy. We have 24 times 18, which we're going to go ahead and do. Area equals 24 times 18. And if we go ahead and do that, we'll go ahead and figure out that our area is 432, and that is feet squared, because remember, area is squared. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now we need to do the same thing for the bottom. Well, here's the deal. We do know that the length is 30 feet, so we can go ahead and put that in. But what we don't know is the width, because the width is not 27. That's not it, because 27 is that whole thing, so that's not good. So what we got to do is we got to find out what this side is right here, and right now it's unknown. So how do we find it? Well, here's the deal. We go back to that side on the left. We know that whole thing is 27 feet, but we don't need the whole thing. We only need this little part. So we're actually cutting out this part. We cut this away, and if we cut that away, well, we're actually cutting away 18 feet. How do we know that? Well, the other side says it's 18 feet. So we're going to go ahead and cut it away. And if I'm cutting it away, I'm going to do 27 minus 18. I'm going to cut it away, and that gives me 9. So actually, this right here is 9. And if you can always check, because 9 from here to here is 9, and here to here is 18, that would give us 27. So we're going to go ahead and say the width is 9, and 30 times 9 is going to go ahead and give us 270 feet squared. Now, the total area of this figure is what we're looking for. So if we're looking for the total area of this figure, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to add those together. So we're going to say the area equals 432 plus 270, and that's going to give us an area of 702 feet squared, and that is our total answer for this composite shape. So that's number one. Here we go. Moving on to example number 2. This one is a little bit more difficult. It says how many square feet of carpeting are needed to cover the floor of the room represented by the drawing. The shaded region is to be left uncovered to leave space for the construction of a built-in trophy case with a rectangular base. So yeah, this guy must be planning on winning the Super Bowl here. Unfortunately, yeah, the Falcons just did a turnover. Terrible. They're letting the Patriots get back into it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. Here's the deal. I'm going to break this up into 2 shapes, but this one's really going to be 3 shapes. And I tell you that because the trophy case is its own little shape. Now, we're going to find the area of each of those 3 things. Alright? And then what we'll do is we'll subtract the area of the trophy case so that we know how much room is going to be covered. So we'll start with this rectangle here, this big one I put an X through. Alright? So, we got to figure out how long is it. Well, area equals, it's a rectangle, length times width. Well, we know that length is 15. It says it across the top. So area equals 15 times, oh, what's the width? Well, here's the deal. We don't know, because we want this whole thing. But we do know that this part from here to here is 9. And from here to here is 6, okay? Don't get confused with that 3. That 3 goes with the gray area. So 9 and 6, if you add those together, it would be 15. So 9 plus 6 equals 15, so we're good. So that's actually our width as well, because the total top and bottom would give us 15. So we know that this is 15. So area is 15 times 15. So we'll go ahead and calculate that, which if you do 15 times 15, you're going to go ahead and get 225, so that's 225 feet squared. So 225 feet squared, and there we go. Now we need to do this little guy, which actually is awesome because we have length times width. We've already got it set up. So we go ahead and put that in. What we're going to do is say area equals length times width. Area equals 8 times 6. Area equals 48 feet squared. Now, that's awesome, okay, but we still need to think about that trophy case because that trophy case is pretty important. We don't want anything there, so let's do that one. What's the area of that? Well, same thing. Area equals length times width. Might be hard for you guys to see. Area equals 10 times 3, which happens to be 30 feet squared. Now, here's the deal. We first need to add the two big pieces, 225 feet squared plus 48 feet squared, and that's going to give you a whole wonderful 273 feet squared, but we have to subtract where the trophy case is going to be, so let's subtract 30, and that's going to give us 243 feet squared, and that's how much room that we need for carpeting. So yeah, oh boy, Patriots just got a touchdown. They're within, let's see, they're going to go for 2, so they're going to be close. Here we go. Example number 3, this one. Alright, this is another one that's two shapes. This one's a little bit different because we have a triangle at the top. Okay, so two shapes. We have a triangle, we have a rectangle. Let's work on the rectangle first. Area equals length times width. Okay, well, we got 9 by 11, so let's use it. Area equals 9 times 11, go ahead and put that in. That means area equals 99 inches squared. 99 inches squared. Wonderful. Okay, now we also need to find the triangle at the top. So what do we know? Well, we know that the area of a triangle equals 1/2 times the base times the height. So we're going to go ahead and plug those numbers in. So 1/2 times the base times the height. So 1/2. The base is that red line, which happens to be the same as at the very bottom of this house-looking shape. So that's 11. And the height is that 4 inches. Okay, 4 inches. Now that 7 inches that they got right here, that's just to confuse you. Don't worry about that. So 11 times 4 is 44, and half of 44 equals 22. So that's 22 inches squared. So we're going to go ahead and find the total area. We're going to add them up, 99 plus 22, and that's going to give us 121 inches squared, and that's the total area of this shape. Look at that. Moving on, example number 4, the last example I'm going to show you. Here we go. Hey, look at this one. This one is a triangle and a rectangle once again. Okay, so we have this red line here. You see that? We'll go ahead and remember to mark that. Let's do the rectangle first. Area equals length times width. Okay, now this one has all kinds of confusing numbers, but you have to remember that this right here shows this whole side, and this one shows this whole side. So we're going to use those two because that's the dimensions of this whole rectangle. So area equals 110 times 140, which is really a giant number. Okay, 110 times 140 gives you 15,400. Whew. Yeah, it's a good thing you get to use your calculator on these things. And that's centimeters squared. Now, we also need to find this triangle, which remember, triangle is area equals 1/2 the base times the height. So we're going to go ahead and find out, first of all, what the base is. Well, the base is from here to here. And the nice thing is, they gave it to you. They said it's 70. Most of the time, you shouldn't expect that. They're going to make it a little bit harder on you. So 1/2 of 70 times the height. Well, the height is where we create like our right angle, and that's this dotted line or this red line, and that is 90. So we're going to go ahead and take 1/2 of 70 is 35 times 90. So we have 35 times 90, and that will give us 3,150. Now, that's also centimeters squared. So what do? Well, just like in all, we need to add those two together. So what do we got? Well, we have 15,400. My finger's not working. Plus 3,150, and that will give us 18,550 centimeters squared, and that is our area of this entire shape. So that's what we need. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Okay, we currently have your independent practice. I'm going to go ahead and give you a few seconds, pause the video, try to figure this one out. Just know that it is kilometers, okay? That's a 4, an 8, and a 12. Go ahead, try it. Good luck. Alright, and I am back and ready to go. Hopefully so are you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this one is split into two shapes. Rectangle, triangle. Let's go ahead and start with the rectangle because we have both our dimensions. Area equals length times width. You should have put this on your paper. 8 times 12, either one, doesn't matter which order. And that would have given you 96 kilometers squared. Whew. And what about the top? Well, the triangle is 1/2 the base times the height, which is 1/2. Oops, area equals, can't forget that. Area equals 1/2 of the base, which is 12, because this is the same size. So 1/2 of 12 times 4. And half of 12 is 6 times 4, which gives us 24 kilometers squared. What do we do with them? Well, we have to add them both together. So we go ahead and pick that 24 plus that 96. 96 plus 24. That gives us 120 kilometers squared. So the area equals 120 kilometers squared. That's what you should have had for yours. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this video. You have one more thing to do, and that is the exit ticket. Here it is. You might want to take the time, pause this video, because I'm about to end it. Yes, here we go. This shape looks like two rectangles. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. On this note, I'm out.